Hello everyone, this is Mod Dan. What I have for you tonight is a tutorial on how I made my repulsors for my hands. They're a really simple, basic setup. You don't need a lot of materials or tools. Basically, you can do it with a pair of needle nose pliers, some wire strippers, cutters, and at least you definitely need a soldering iron. I highly recommend one of these. They're fairly inexpensive. You can get a set with multiple tips for probably about $20. I think is about the average. But what these are made out of, and real quick, I will show you. This is my Mark 45 glove. This is what the light turns out to be. It's extremely low profile. The battery pack is in the back of the hand here, and then the controls for it are inside, and it's glued to the inside of the glove, and then the lens is glued to the outside. Okay, so how to do this. These are just run-of-the-mill dollar store, hardware store. You can get them at Amazon, Walmart, just about anywhere. These are just tap lights with LED bulbs. And if you open up the back, they take 3 AAA batteries. This is all I used. So what I'm going to do, now I've already, the first step is to take this back off here. And then you're going to take your needle nose pliers, and you're going to have to break open the sides because they glue around the edges here, and they're pretty well put together, so you definitely need to crack them open with a pair of pliers. I've already gone and done that with this one, so I'm going to open this one up and show you we don't need this. Now you pretty much need everything else that's contained here, so the lens and the silver light reflector you can put inside the gauntlet. What I do on mine is I take the lens or the glass lens off, and then I'll just cut a circle out of regular printer paper, and then I'll glue that to the inside of the lens, and that diffuses the light perfectly. I mean, as you can see, I'll show it to you again. That looks great on camera. In person, you can still kind of see the 3 LED bulbs. Maybe if I bring it close, no, I thought maybe it would blow out and you'd be able to see them, but yeah, in person you can still see the bulbs, but on camera they look absolutely fantastic. So when people are taking your pictures at cons and stuff, you'll know that they look great. But that's all I use, just regular printer paper inside the lens and the little silver reflector that comes in here. I just glue that to the glove. So we're going to keep that. Now, really what you can get away with using this triangular shaped battery holder if you can't get a hold of what I recommend, one of these. It's just 3 AAA battery holder. You can get these on Amazon or several other electronics websites that are on the internet. You probably get them pack like 5, 10 or something like that for a few dollars. These are great. I use these through pretty much most of my Mark 45 suits, so it's good to get a hold of these. But if you can't, what you really need, other than if you can't get a hold of those, is definitely wire, some kind of small gauge wire. I recommend red and black just so you can keep track, because you need to keep track of which side is positive and which side is negative. So we're going to move to that next. So if you're going to replace the battery holder or extend it so that you can put the battery pack somewhere else and just put the light pack here in your glove, you're going to need to extend those wires. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. You just take your soldering iron and you're going to break the solder on either side, and that's it. If if I can find the holder here. Okay. So what you're going to want to do if you're using this battery holder, you're going to want to turn it over and take a look at the little battery diagram. They'll usually either show the battery itself or just a positive and negative symbol. This one shows that this is the positive end. You probably can't see that too well on the camera, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hit that with a marker. It doesn't have to be a red marker, just something that you can see. Now you probably can't see that mark on the camera. You might be able to. A little bit of green there, I guess. Kind of looks. But that's all you have to do, just so you remember it when you're soldering the wires back on. But that's if you're going to use this one. For this demo, I'm going to use this one because these wires are already stripped. Now, on the light itself, you don't really have to worry about marking it because this... Now, see if I have something to point to it. Oh, here we go. Okay, this little resistor right here indicates the positive end. It's just on every single one that I've ever run into, that's always the positive end. It runs through the resistor first before it goes through the bulbs. So that's how you identify which side is positive on the light board here. So what we're going to do is unsolder those wires. Now I'm actually going to do this safely, so I have my little setup here to hold this while I'm taking these off. I'm not sure how much of this you can see right now. Sadly, I'm not directly behind the camera, so we're just gonna break those right off there. Now let me see here. I seem to have forgotten to bring out some solder. So I have a little bit here, I think. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to add a little bit of solder to these before I add the wires. It's easier to add the solder first and then try to hook your wires up. It's just a little bit easier. There are better tutorials for how to solder things that I highly recommend because I'm still pretty amateur at it. But so all I'm going to do, solder the positive or the negative to where that belongs. Let that cool and there. And the positive. Let that cool. Set that over there. Okay. And that's it. This is now ready to put batteries in. Give me 1 second. I'll go do that and show you. Okay, sorry, I'm back. Just wanted to get some batteries. Hopefully these are good. There we go. See? That easy. All I had to do was solder those two wires on it. Now I have plenty of wire that came installed with this battery pack. So now I can put the battery pack up on top of the hand and install the light inside the glove. And this wire, you know, you can pass it through any of the fingers. Now you're probably going to want to coat the back end of this with some hot glue before you install it in the glove. That way the wire and the soldering points are protected from your hand. You're not going to get like shocked or anything from it, but it's a little bit pokey after a while. But that's all there is to that. How you have to install it into your particular glove, you're kind of just going to have to figure that out on your own. But that's my simple solution for it, and it works really well. A add-on that you can do to this that I've since added to my newer gloves. Now I used a different battery setup on it, but I used this time around, I used one of these, which is, let me zoom in on it so you can see and focus. Okay, this is a mercury switch. Now there's a little ball of mercury in there. It looks like a little Christmas light, but when it's down like this, when it's pointed up, the ball is connecting the two wires, so it completes the circuit, so the light would turn on. If I flip it down, the ball rolls away from the two wires and it disconnects. So if you position this in the, let me zoom back out here. If you position this in the hand so that it's pointing up when you have your hand up, then when you raise your hand, the light will turn on. When you bring your hand down, the little ball will drop down and the light will turn off, and you'll save your batteries and stuff. So, plus it looks pretty cool for the lights just come on when you raise your hand up. Now these, I got these as a big pack, 10 pack. These are right from Amazon. 3mm mercury switch for Arduinos. You can find them Amazon, probably any other electronics site available, but that's really all there is to it, other than, you know, installing it into your particular glove, like I said. But that's all I have for you. I hope that helps, and good building. Later. Back again, not quite done yet. This is a little add-on. I forgot to mention this in the video, but if you do get one of these mercury switches, the way that you wire this in is you're going to attach one end to the positive wire, and then the other wire of this to where the positive wire goes on the board here. So it would basically probably be something like that. Now, I could probably zoom in, but yeah, you're basically going to want to go for something like that. Like I said, you're going to break this one. The wire isn't going to be connected directly to the board. It's going to be connected to, say, this one, and then this wire will be connected to the board. So that way you're just going to splice this into the positive line on this setup, and that will make the switch work. At that point, you would have to switch this on, do the tap light thing, switch it on, and then the switch will work. So this switch will, it's ahead of this switch, from your battery source. So this switch will control the lights coming on and off instead of this one. So this will basically just be an on-off switch for the lights themselves, but this will be the switch that makes it go, on and off when you're wearing it. But yeah, sorry, forgot to explain that. But in case you were wondering, yeah, you just attach that to the positive line and then this to the positive point on the board. So that's all there is to that. Thanks again. Later.